Small yet mighty, tiny yet powerful. Welcome to the incredible world of ants. Creatures so small we barely notice them, yet so extraordinary that they redefine what strength, intelligence, and adaptability truly mean. These little engineers have survived for over 100 million years, outliving dinosaurs and mastering nearly every ecosystem on Earth. From deep rainforests to scorching deserts, ants have conquered the planet in silence, thriving in unity and purpose. They may look simple, but each ant is a living miracle of design. Their bodies are divided into 3 perfect sections: the head, thorax, and abdomen, all working together like parts of a living machine. The head carries the brain and mandibles, those tiny razor-sharp jaws that can lift, cut, and sculpt the world around them. The thorax powers 6 strong legs, each joint built to handle incredible tension and speed. The abdomen stores vital organs, strength, and energy. There's no wasted space, no extra feature. Every cell of an ant serves a clear purpose: survival through precision. Now, let's talk about what makes them truly super. Some ants are the bodybuilders of the natural world, capable of lifting objects 50 times heavier than themselves. Imagine a human lifting a car with one hand. That's what an ant does effortlessly every single day. And then there are the speedsters, like the Saharan silver ant, the undisputed track star of the insect world, living in the blistering heat of the Sahara Desert, where the sand can reach over 60-degree ice. This ant doesn't just walk, it sprints. It can travel 108 times its own body length per second. That's equivalent to a human running over 600 kilometers per hour, faster than a Formula One car. If an ant were the size of a human, its abilities would appear almost godlike. Picture a creature that could lift a bus, jump over a building, and move so fast that your eyes couldn't even track it. The Saharan silver ant would blur into motion, crossing an entire city block in seconds. A mite even smaller than an ant would hypothetically reach speeds of over 2,000 kilometers per hour at human scale. That's faster than the speed of sound. In this microscopic universe, physics itself bends in fascinating ways. What feels impossible for us is simply routine for them. But ants are not just individuals. They are part of something far greater. They are masters of organization, architects of collaboration. An ant colony functions like a single living organism, with millions of tiny beings working in harmony. There's no boss, no central leader, no spoken language, yet everything runs with astonishing order. Each ant knows its role. Some gather food, some defend the nest. Others care for the queen or tend to eggs and larvae. Through chemical signals, pheromones, they communicate, coordinate, and execute plans more complex than many human organizations. Imagine a civilization without confusion, without greed, without ego, only purpose. That's what an ant colony is. When a colony needs to cross a gap, worker ants form bridges using their own bodies. When floodwaters rise, they lock together to form floating rafts that can drift for days. They farm fungi underground, cultivate aphids for honeydew, and wage wars against rival colonies. They've developed agriculture, architecture, and even warfare, millions of years before humans ever did. But like all powerful creatures, ants have a dual side. They are both heroes and invaders of the natural world. On one hand, they keep our planet alive, aerating soil, recycling nutrients, cleaning dead matter, and controlling pests. Without ants, entire ecosystems could collapse. On the other hand, some species become destructive when introduced to new environments. Fire ants, for example, can destroy crops, damage electronics, and even harm humans and animals with painful stings. Their invasions cost billions in damages worldwide. It's a reminder that power in any form can build or destroy, depending on where it lands. Still, what's most fascinating about ants isn't their strength or numbers, it's their intelligence. Scientists have discovered that ants can learn, remember, and teach. They can count steps, navigate mazes, and use sunlight for direction. Some species recognize themselves in mirrors, a behavior once thought possible only in higher animals. They even conduct funerals for their dead, carrying corpses away to prevent infection. A remarkable act of instinctive hygiene and social awareness. And then there are their survival skills. The Saharan silver ant, for example, has evolved reflective silver hairs that act like armor, deflecting sunlight and protecting it from the desert heat. Arctic ants survive freezing temperatures by producing their own anti-freeze-like chemicals. Army ants coordinate in massive swarms that can devour anything in their path, even creatures 1,000 times their size. Each species is like a chapter in a long, living textbook of evolution, teaching us how nature adapts in ways we can barely comprehend. If we were to magnify their existence to our own scale, ants would seem like alien super beings. Imagine an ant lifting 50 humans at once, or running fast enough to circle an entire football stadium in seconds. They could reshape landscapes, build skyscraper-sized nests, and move with synchronization that rivals artificial intelligence. These thought experiments may sound like science fiction, but they reveal something deeper. That scale changes how we define power. What looks small to us might, in truth, be the blueprint of perfection. Even their communication system is astonishing. Ants don't just wander aimlessly. They talk through invisible chemical codes. One drop of pheromone can trigger an entire colony to move, attack, or protect. Their navigation is so precise that even in the featureless Sahara, silver ants can find their nest after long foraging trips, using patterns of polarized light invisible to the human eye. They are mathematicians of motion, guided by physics we are only beginning to understand. Ants teach us that life doesn't need size to have strength, or speech to have intelligence. They embody balance between chaos and order, simplicity and sophistication. Every ant you see carries a world of lessons about teamwork, endurance, and purpose. In their colonies, there is no wasted effort. No conflict of ambition, just survival, harmony, and the quiet pursuit of something greater than the self. So, the next time you see an ant crawling across your kitchen counter, stop and think. You're not just looking at an insect. You're witnessing the descendant of an ancient civilization, one that has mastered unity and evolution. Ants may be tiny, but their impact is massive. From engineering feats to survival instincts, they remind us that greatness doesn't depend on size. It depends on purpose. In a universe obsessed with speed and power, these little creatures quietly embody both, showing us that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest truths.